gets a start, hits 3 doubles, gets a batting average, things like that. It's good for him. And team was pulling for him big time. So it was cool. And then Kozeal played in the outfield, his first ball game, had a little trouble in the corner with that ball, but hit the ball really well, got 4 hits. Well, he got 3, and then he got an infield hit. We'll call that a hit. I mean, that guy's not going to get too many of those, although he can run a little bit. But, it's just good. It's good to see some guys do some different things and put Cam at, Kozeal at second, and just to, let my freshman second baseman Frazier rest a little bit because his leg was a little tight Sunday. So just trying to let that loosen back up. So he's fine. He'll be ready for Thursday. So, thought we came out and played pretty good. Travel back, a couple tough losses, off day. Guys came around and lifted and then, but nothing that they had to be at. And then, a few guys came in yesterday, I think probably hit because they hit every day, no matter what. And we came out and, we played decent. And now we can move on to the weekend and, look forward to A&M coming in. I know they're super hot, won 5 out of their last league games. So we'll have our hands full.
Had you seen anything out of Reese recently that maybe indicated that he was going to break out?
He's been swinging the bat better in batting practice like today. It's some balls like you saw tonight. And then he, we control a lot of their rounds and BP, but when we let it fly, so to speak, he had a couple balls off the scoreboard and, just a little bit. So just felt like he'd been a really good teammate. He hadn't complained, and it's time to get him in there and let him play a little bit.
And then UAPB's pitchers had retired your hitters 10 in a row before that infield hit by Kozeal. Did it feel like maybe that took a cap off or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, no, I just think I think we got a little complacent and, we had a pretty good lead and then maybe the lack of concentration there for a little bit, but, give their pitchers credit. They brought guys in that were throwing strikes. We had a couple balls hard, but they were at them. And that's kind of the way it works.
I think you said before Sunday's game that Kendall's been having better BP for you. I mean, how pleased were you to see him get the hit in that pinch hit situation?
Yeah, he got a start the other day at Georgia, and I got a couple of bats, and they brought the lefty in. I, brought a right-hander hitter for him, and that was good to see him get that hit. Especially he got down the count 1-2, and I don't know, and we ended up 2-2, and then he threw a breaking ball, and he obviously singled the right, and I think it's good for him. It's good for his confidence, and then obviously it gave Reese a chance to get up and hit again, and got to go home early.
Some really rushed research on my part, but I think the first 7 hits you guys had were either up the middle or opposite way. Just how good was that to see in the approach tonight, especially maybe?
Especially when you're facing pitching that's a lot slower than you just faced on the weekend. I mean, we were facing mostly mid-90s all weekend from Georgia. I don't know if you guys saw the stat. Coach Hops probably tell you, but between the two teams over the weekend, the average fastball was 95 plus. And there were some guys we hit. What I didn't hit. We had a pitcher hit 102 twice. They had a pitcher that hit 100 a few times, and a lot of guys throwing in the mid 90s. So then when you face a team where fastballs mid 80s and a little slower here and there, it can throw you off. So, the approach was opposite field in batting practice. And the game plan was just stay through the middle. Don't try to do too much because you're going to get out front, and did a pretty good job with it.
I know you indicated on your radio show, I think that you said Susan might be done for the year. Do you have any update there on his injury?
Well, I would say he's probably done.
And for McIntyre tonight, I mean, I know he can have that knack of really pounding the zone, but sometimes he gets away from it. What do you notice is working for him when he has that really superior control?
Well, he's locating that cutter to the glove side, away from the right-handers and throwing it down. He made one mistake today and fouled it off, and he kind of slapped his glove because he knows that in league play, that ball might be hit pretty good. And even here, but the hitter just fouled it off. He got it going pretty good, with the cutter, the fastball. He even elevated a couple fastballs on purpose. And when he got ahead in the count, he got a strikeout on one of them. Yeah, it was good to see. We just try to keep him sharp because they're on the roster on the weekend. We're going to need them.
Yeah. How long ago were you planning on giving Reese his first start, and how did he find out?
I decided yesterday that I was going to play him, and he probably found out today when he saw the board about 12 o'clock or whenever somebody called and said, "Hey, you're starting, man." So imagine that's how it went down.
Did you see any reaction? Did you hear anything from him? Or?
Nah. And the other big news was Kozeal started in the outfield because, he didn't even know where the outfield was, except, when he got here, he was a first baseman, DH. And we didn't really put him out there defensively until January. We just started working him out, said, the guy's going to hit. He's not going to play first here. We got to get him ready for next year, his junior year here, and he can DH this year. And it's gotten a lot better, and he's worked at it. So yeah, that was, I'm sure that brought a little bit of energy to their locker room when they saw who was in and who was not DHing and playing in the outfield. So that was good.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, with Logan getting the DH, is that still a case of a tight hamstring, or?
It's me just kind of keeping an eye on it and taking care of it. And, we talked last week that we were going to probably start Kozeal and right, for this game. But at the same time, I wanted Logan to hit because Logan, he didn't have his best weekend, and we need to get him going. So wanted him to continue to swing it. And like tonight, he got 2 hits. And then he just missed a home run there at the end, kind of topped it just a touch. If he'd have pulled it a little bit, obviously it'd been way out. So it all worked out.
And then some errors from new guys and new positions. Do you sort of excuse those?
Cam didn't get a grip on the double play ball and threw it into the dirt, and it got by. And then, obviously Kozeal kicked that ball down in the corner. I didn't watch it. I knew it was a double. And then next thing I knew, the guy kept running, and I turned around. I didn't get out there and look at it. I said, "What happened?" That's I don't know. Did he kick it or what happened down there? He what? Oh yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
I guess with McGuire, it seems like it's the second week in a row. It's kind of the same thing. Is it kind of mechanical when his velocity tops off, or is it more mental at this point?
I don't know. He comes out and pounds his own. Did it in Little Rock. Did it here tonight, and then, you got to give the 4-hole hitter credit. He just got out there and said he's going to throw me a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and he cheated and hit it. Went out of the park, and then he got it together and got through the inning. The third inning was the inning that wasn't good. Looked like the velocity dropped off, and command, and they were poking it around a little bit, made a couple mistakes ahead in the count. I don't know. So, he's a good Tuesday pitcher, but you don't want to just be a Tuesday pitcher. You want to pitch on the weekend. So you got to pitch good on Tuesday so we can pitch you on the weekend.
I'm remiss if we didn't ask, but just your thoughts on Jackie Robinson and the celebration beforehand. And then
I liked it. I thought it was awesome, actually. And it was, if you know the whole story, he went through a lot to get the opportunity to play in the big leagues, and he opened the door for a lot of people. And no, I thought it was cool. I didn't even really know about it until last couple of days ago, and I was told. So I didn't know what was going to go down. Pretty neat.
Anything in particular you're noticing about Brent Iredale at the moment with his recent struggles?
Yeah, he's just struggling. He's late on the fastball. He's very picky at the plate, and we love that. But when he does get the fastball, even like tonight, he fouled off 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, he's working hard. He's frustrated. We need him to get it going again, because we know it's in there. So hopefully it'll start Thursday.
Is it easier at all to get a guy out of a slump like that when it's in the middle of the season? He's already had a lot of success early on.
Well, I think, just a couple of, good swings where he hits the ball hard, and hopefully get some hits, because sometimes you just need to get a hit. It can just free you up mentally a little bit. I don't, the time of the year that it happens, it's like anything. He hasn't really failed before until now. Think about it. He went to junior college for 2 years and killed it. Comes in here and has a really good fall. January, February, and March. I mean, in February, he carried us. He was driving and runs when guys weren't hitting, and there was really nowhere for him to go but down. And we've talked to him. He's going to be fine. He'll come out of it. But for now, he's just got to weather the storm. He's a really good defender, and he's a threat at the plate. He's still getting on base with some walks. His day's coming. He'll come back around.
Texas A&M this weekend. You mentioned how they're playing a lot better right now. Is there any part of you that's like, well, I guess maybe it's a good thing they're playing better, and that it's that's they're not going to be, I don't know, as desperate maybe as they were a couple weeks ago?
Well, to me, it wouldn't have mattered if they were playing great or struggling. I know how talented they are. They have most of their players from last year back. Get the pitching staff back. They did lose their third baseman to an injury early in the season. Brought in a couple of good players from other schools. I read a comment right before the season started, because they were number one in every poll, that they had the most talented roster in Division I baseball. So they're good, and we're not looking. It didn't matter if they were struggling coming in here. We weren't going to look past them. I'll guarantee you that. They're going to be a big time challenge. They're really good.
Have you noticed anything different about them? Obviously, I know you're from afar, but
They're hitting.
No, but I mean in a new season with a new head coach. I'm sorry.
No, I don't have. It's not for me to comment on. I just got to take care of my team. But they're starting to swing the bat. They're scoring runs. I mean, he scored 5 or 6 or 8 in the last inning to win on Sunday or Saturday or whatever it was for them.
Prager had a heck of a game against you guys last year. I mean, do you expect that type of pitcher again?
Well, he's very, very confident. He really locates stuff. It's not like overpowering. He just knows how to pitch. It hasn't been quite the same as last year for him, but I know that we're in for a challenge, and we've got to definitely be ready for him and have a great approach against him.
You indicated on the radio the other day that you might take Gabe out of the rotation this weekend. Have you made a decision on that yet?
Well, is this my talk? So I'm done. I don't have to talk to you guys tomorrow, right? Okay. Yeah, you'll probably see Gage not in the rotation to start.
Okay. Do you get Gage Wood back this weekend?
There could be that possibility. We'll know
Okay.
tomorrow for sure.
Do you, and maybe you don't want to say, but how do you handle it being a short week with your pitchers? I mean, do you take an opportunity maybe to throw somebody new on Thursday night and give Zach a normal rest? Or
Oh no, he'll be good on 6 days.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and I guess we'll have to. Do we have to put that out tomorrow? Since I mean, he'll go first, and then let you know how it goes from there.
I guess it's Coach Early's first year. Do you remember what it was like your first year in the SEC? All those years ago?
Yeah, we had turf. We had turf, and we didn't have. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I do remember it, but I can't remember the first SEC game or going through the league. I know that we weren't picked to do very well, and we did pretty good. Clay Goodwin was playing third base, first base, and Hollis Pratt was playing first mostly, and I could go on and on. I could still name the guys, but I've been in a lot of games. I can't remember all those games, man. I only remember the good ones, or maybe some of the bad ones.
it sounds like you guys got a good report on Parker Coyle, that maybe he can come back sooner than you first anticipated.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what all I can comment on that. I think you could probably talk to Corey about that, but it's when they did the MRI, it looked like it wasn't as bad as they thought. So it's definitely cut the healing down, maybe 3 weeks. So that's a good thing.
And then with Gackle, I mean, he was so good for you as a reliever last year. Is there any thought that maybe he just pitches better out of the bullpen?
Been a lot of thought about that. I mean, he gets all these preseason accolades, and they're not for. It's for they're calling them preseason this and that, but it was all about his relief pitching.
Mhm.
So, let's see how it goes from here.
Yeah, and just to clarify on Souza, I mean, what part of the body sustained the injury
Who?
for Souza? Just to clarify.
Oh yeah, he's got a, I guess it'd be this arm. It's pretty well torn. There's one a year. We get one a year. To every year. It's kind of sad because it should never happen because he shouldn't have run. That's what hurts. You know, if it just happens, it happens. But the way it all went down, it was over like that. You couldn't stop it.
You look so professional.
Hey, Cam, I mean, you heard Coach Van Horn talk about this, and certainly you could see it after that last hit. How happy were you all for Reese and the performance that he had tonight?
Oh my goodness. This is my duck hunting buddy. This is who we talk about duck hunting with. No, so happy for Reese. Hardworking kid, blue collar kid, great teammate. He's always there for us. So it's always fun during the season when you can see teammates that have been cheering for you and being great teammates, see them get on the field and perform like that. It always uplifts the team. So it was really cool to see.
UAPB had retired the hitters 10 in a row until Kozeal had that infield hit before your home run. Did you feel like maybe that loosened things up at all in the dugout?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a midweek game. We're battling for everything, battling for every run. And yeah, Kozeal takes great swings. That one, he kind of wood chopped it, but you know, he's got wheels. He's got wheels, so he beat it out. And when you get runners on base, it's a little easier to hit. There's just more thoughts going through the pitcher's head, and they leave more mistakes over the plate. So it was good to hit in that situation.
And then Reese, for you, Coach Van Horn was saying that you've had better batting practices here of late. I mean, when you saw that you had the opportunity tonight, did you feel like maybe you had the chance to have some sort of breakout performance?
You know, I was just grateful for the opportunity. I walked in today and I saw I was starting, so I was like, well, let's make the best of it and see what happens. So I just had a positive mentality in my head, and I just try to do what I can.
It's been over 2 years since you had a hit in a game. I mean, I would assume that it may be tough to stay positive. What's the experience been like?
Yeah, you know, honestly, trusting God's plan. You know, lately I was like, man, like I haven't played a lot, you know, but I was like, am I ever going to get this first hit out of the way? And then I finally got it tonight, and I was like, all right, now I can kind of relax a little bit and just kind of play.
Yeah, Cam, how was it back being at second?
Yeah, felt great. That glove feels a little tinier. It felt like a mini glove, you know, those training mini gloves, but so just took ground balls out there, and it was back to normal.
And then Reese, for you, I guess it sounds like you were surprised when you saw your name on the board. What was the reaction?
You know, I was just like, here's my opportunity, so don't waste it.
You know, Dave was just in here and he said we might get Gage Wood back, but just regardless, what's he been like throughout this process of him being injured as a teammate? And have you guys noticed maybe him a little angsty to get back, a little trying to rush this injury process at all?
I mean, he's a dog. Like, I mean, that's putting it lightly. Like when we were doing PFPs the other day during practice, he was adamant that he needed to get reps in. Like he was like, I need to get these reps in. And he was like, Coach, hit it here. I'm gonna do one here. I'm gonna throw hard. I was like, he's gonna get what he needs. He's gonna get back regardless of anything. And then I hear him in the dugout today arguing with Mike, and he was like, if we did Oklahoma drill, I would run you over. And Mike's a big dude. But yeah, he's just ultra competitive.
That's Mike Anderson you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Mike Anderson.
Is it difficult to I mean, you guys obviously scored 13 runs today, but is it difficult when you face 95 all weekend and then have the lower velo today?
It's just kind of like playing wiffle ball, I'd say. It's like sometimes you have your way older brother who's throwing super hard, and then you have your little brother who's not throwing as hard. I mean, and it's baseball. Like the ball is coming at you no matter what. Coach Thompson and Coach Warnes, they got us right pregame, and so we were prepared to know that velos weren't going to be that high. You can just kind of mentally prepare for that. You can make adjustments in BP. You can make adjustments in the game. You can move up in the box. So great athletes have to adjust regardless of the situation or the other team.
Cam, I guess you weren't at first base today for the first time in a while, but you've talked about it in the past, kind of how the other first basemen have kind of helped you along as you learn the position as you go? Just kind of, what's that process kind of been like?
I mean, you're always trying to be a sponge. You're always trying to soak in everything, from different teammates and even your coach's sons in the dugout, Gage Goodwin. But no, I learned things from this guy, and he's been doing a lot of stuff at third, and then got the opportunity at first today. But you just learn everything you can from teammates and just outside sources, and just being a sponge.
Tough news for Nolan, obviously. How's he handling it?
I mean, when that happened, Souza, he's a very tough kid. Very, very tough, always happy. To see him walking off the field like that, it was weird. Like you don't see Suze like that. And but he's been good through the process. He's a leader on the team. And I don't think that changes just because he's not necessarily in a playing role right now. You can still be a leader off the field like that. And we've been talking about how to get him on a fishing pole, like how he's going to cast with his left and maybe use his wrist or use a cane pole or something. I don't know, but he's a trooper. He's a great teammate. After that injury happened, we got in a circle. We prayed for him. You never want to see a friend and a teammate down like that. But it'll all be okay.
Cam, do you go a day without fishing?
I went twice today. So yes, I caught 5. Went to. I can't tell you my fishing spots, but I went twice today. One was at Baum Walker. Caught a nice little fish. Willis was out there. Carson Willis, freshman catcher. He wasn't catching anything. I go out there like you're a cast. Willis got a fish. But yeah, no, I love fishing. Love being outdoors. It's fun with friends. We went as a group yesterday, and it's good times.
Is there any correlation between catching fish and how well you play?
I don't know. I think you can relate baseball and fishing a lot together. There's a lot of parallels. I mean, you're not going to catch a fish every cast. You're not going to hit a double every swing. Like there's just so many things you can draw comparisons to, and it's fun being in the outdoors. It's calming. Like this is Holy Week. Like especially today, it's Holy Tuesday. You see Jesus going in the Garden of Gethsemane, praying alone, like going out in nature and being alone. Like nature's the mother of silence. Like you go out in nature, you have silence. You have dialogue with you and God a lot better. But I love the outdoors, love nature.
Gabe Frazier in the preseason, he had that shoulder injury and he wasn't able to, throw, I guess. He was able to do some fielding. What have you seen since he got healthy to now, maybe how he's improved as a fielder at second?
I think he's been really positive about it.
Mhm.
He's worked really, really hard, and he listens to guys like Cam and Souza, if they have any tips for him, and he's just keeping his head straight and being a great teammate as well.
Yeah, I mean, for both of you, Reese, first start for you, Cam, first time in a while returning to second, and then Kozeal out and right as well. So what did it kind of feel like for the three of you to kind of have a new grouping on the right side of the field?
I thought it was fun. Kozeal, he's going to Bourne this summer, and I think that's where I'm supposed to play. So we've talked about that a little bit, and he's got a cannon for an arm. So it was cool to see him out there.
Yeah, I thought it was great to see. And then Kuyo, he's been in right field a lot at practice, working really hard during BP or fly balls with Coach Thompson, and he's improved a lot. I was proud for him.
I think I've got this right. You played against A&M last year, but you didn't hit against Prager. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, so I played against A&M last year at A&M. That place is a fun place to play. It's an electric environment. They had a really good team. We did not do very good when we played down there, but we're going to change that this year with this team. I did not face Prager, I don't think, but yeah, faced a lot of guys in their staff, and it'll be fun to play against them again.
I mean, obviously you saw him pitch from the dugout, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen highlights of him. What does he do so effectively?
So, I mean, he's a pitcher. Like you have a lot of guys in this league who, I mean, everyone here is good pitchers in this league, but like you have guys who can pitch and you have guys who can throw gas. Like he's a guy that can pitch and he knows how to pitch. So it's all about when he makes mistakes, making him pay for it. Keeping things simple. You don't need to overthink it. Like just because he's a good pitcher, tip your cap. But I mean, don't put anyone on a pedestal necessarily. Like just go out there, be competitive, be who we are, like Coach Thompson talks about all the time, and go out there and attack.
Well, good. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You report to